Here we go, right there. You are very rude, and I'm not going to ever call on you.
Every presidential election, people run, and believe it or not, it's kind of scary this year, but believe it or not, most everybody actually tries to do what they say they're going to do when they're running.
Well, Bill Clinton on the trail today, and over the weekend, Hillary Clinton getting heckled with questions about her husband's indiscretions, and framed in a different way in that forum, and she, you heard, pushed back. Meantime, we are 27 days away from the Iowa caucuses, the first voting. Today, Donald Trump aired his first paid ad. Here's a part of that.
The politicians can pretend it's something else, but Donald Trump calls it radical Islamic terrorism. That's why he's calling for a temporary shutdown of Muslims entering the United States until we can figure out what's going on. He'll quickly cut the head off.
It keeps going, and it goes through his main points that he hits on the stump, but there is one part in particular that came under controversy today. He said he'll stop illegal immigration by building a wall on our southern border that Mexico will pay for. And this is the video. Well, it turns out that that video is actually Morocco. And the campaign put out a statement. The use of this footage was intentional and selected to demonstrate the severe impact of an open border and the very real threat Americans face if we do not immediately build a wall, stop illegal immigration. The biased mainstream media doesn't understand, but Americans who want to protect their jobs and their families do. With that, we're back with the panel. Steve.
Well, I don't think anybody who's considering voting for Donald Trump right now is going to be troubled by the fact that they were using footage from Morocco. Look, I think it's an effective ad for Trump. I have problems with it. I don't agree with his proposal on banning Muslims temporarily. I think it's un-American, but he makes a case in the ad that is consistent with the case that he's made on the stump. It is simple and it is strong, and the most important line is not any of the specific policy proposals that he lists. It's the opening line, which is politicians call it something else, which immediately establishes or reestablishes in the mind of a prospective voter that Donald Trump is not like other politicians, and the rest of the ad goes on to make that case pretty clearly.
Maybe I talked to a lot of people over the break, a lot of people in different fields. There is a Trump undercurrent out there among different populations that see him as the shake-up candidate.
Yeah, he only is behind in one state, and that's Iowa. So he has the next couple of weeks to try to drown out Ted Cruz, who's #1 in Iowa, maintain his lead in New Hampshire, and then he has a good firewall in the South. And I think that he with bashing the Clintons and going on air with ads, he plans to stay in the conversation, and this is his closing act. He's not going to go quietly. He doesn't want to pick on Republicans right now, but he wants to get his message out, and he wants to be the person that voters will perceive in the primary electorate as best to go up against Hillary Clinton.
New Jersey Governor Chris Christie not going quietly either, taking on Donald Trump head-on today.
Showtime is over, everybody. We are not electing an entertainer-in-chief. Showmanship is fun, but it's not the kind of leadership that will truly change America. If we're going to turn our frustration and anger with the D.C. insiders, the politicians of yesterday, and the carnival barkers of today into something that actually will change American lives for the better, we must elect someone who has been tested, someone with proven experience, someone who knows how to make decisions because he's been making them for years.
You see, that's a teleprompter speech. Obviously, not the average town hall he's been doing time and time again in New Hampshire.
He's running as the kinder, gentler Trump, as the experienced Trump. I don't know how it'll work, but remember, up until this year, he was the tough guy, the guy who actually could have been too tough and too aggressive. He was criticized as that over the years. And now he appears completely mild in comparison. So I think it's a good tack. That would be his, if he were going to slip into the race as a real challenger, it would be in that role. But I have to say that what Trump did with the Clintons is particularly impressive. If it comes to a fight in the end over this issue, I'm not sure how it works out. It could work out either way to help the Clintons, kind of sympathy, or it could help Trump. But I think his deterrence has worked. I don't think that she is going to be coming out with any overt accusations of sexism, and even the ones that she makes will be reasonably subtle. But I think that has actually had the effect it wanted, and it protects him in a way. It also has other candidates looking at Trump and saying, he brought it up in a way that I would never have, and it's succeeding.
Quickly, Bill Clinton a plus on the trail?
Yeah, I think generally he's a plus on the trail, but I agree with Charles that it's a good fight in the short term for Donald Trump to pick. I'm not sure it's a good fight for Republicans.
Do you agree, A.B.?
I think Bill Clinton is great for her right now in the primary race. I actually think in the general election, the message that Trump is giving, which is that they use their power to lie and cover up, is a really potentially troubling one for Hillary Clinton in the general election.